Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to go over how to add checkboxes to an Excel spreadsheet. Now here I've got a pretty simple template set up where I've got items, a place for prices, and a pricing list. How I want it to work is I'm going to add some checkboxes so that when it's clicked, it's going to populate the price in here based on this list. And one of the reasons you may want to use a checkbox instead of, say, a drop-down option is when you want to show all your items. Like with a drop down, the options can be hidden, maybe a bit easier and take up less space, but checkboxes may be preferable when you want to show people a variety of different options without necessarily hiding them in a drop down. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you have access to this developer tab. If you don't, you need to go into the Excel options and check off the box next to developer. And once you have that, then you can go in here, go to Insert, and then you'll notice there's a section for Form Controls and ActiveX Controls. It really doesn't matter which one you use. They're slightly different, and it's really up to you which one you decide to use. Either one can get the job done. So I'm going to start with the ActiveX Control. I'm going to click this, and now my cursor turns into a cross, and I'm going to need to click and drag to create my checkbox. But the one thing you'll notice, there's some default text that comes along with it, which I'm not going to use. And the reason for it is it's not easy to update, because here I can change the value really easily. But here I have to go to Format, I have to go to Properties and change it in here under this caption section. So I'm going to clear this out by deleting it, and there it's gone. And now my checkbox control takes up less space. So what I can do is select this, and I'm going to drag it next to item 1. And this is kind of the tricky part sometimes with these checkboxes, is making sure they align just how you want them. So now that my checkbox is here, I also need to have a linked cell. So this is the cell that's going to update when I click on this checkbox. So I purposely left column C blank for this reason. So I'm going to select my linked cell to be cell C3. Okay. I'm going to click out of here, and you'll notice nothing happens when I click on this checkbox right now, and that's because ActiveX puts me in design mode when I add a control. So I'm going to unclick this, and now when I click on this checkbox, it's going to update a value of true. It's going to go to false if it's unchecked. Right, so this is where you need that linked cell. And how I'm going to make this work is I'm going to end up hiding column C for this purpose. But what I'm going to do is say insert a formula here and say if this is true, then I'm going to do a simple VLOOKUP. Look up item 1 on a pricing list, comma 2, comma false. Right? Otherwise, it is going to be, leave it at 0, right? And so that way, if I check it off, it's blank, it's checked, it's $10. And again, I can hide this after the fact to not show this up. Because on its own, this linked cell isn't going to be terribly useful. You're not going to want to put any calculations or formulas in here, because that's going to impact what's in here. You know, if I type in, anything else in here, that messes up this checkbox now, and this isn't working. So you don't want to enter any values here, but you're probably going to want to use this value in another formula to make this work. Okay, so if I wanted to copy this checkbox down, what I can do is go back into design mode, click it, and then I can do Control C, Control V, right? And if it lines up well, let's say that's good, then the one thing you're going to want to still change is the linked cell, because the problem is if I just copy and paste it, the settings stay the same and it's still referencing C3, right? So the problem is, this is all going to be linked together. This is not going to update this value. And of course I didn't copy the formula as well. So let's say the copy is down, but even checking item 2, it's not doing anything here because I haven't linked it, right? So I want to go back into here, go back into design mode, and change this value to C4. So now, when I get out of design mode, I can click this, and now this will update. So if I just want item 1 or item 2 and not item 1, I That's what I do if I don't want anything. Uncheck both. If I just want item 1, there we go. So now I'm going to switch over to the other type of control, and that is the form control. So if I click this checkbox here, I'm going to again create a control here, and now I'm going to modify this text as well just by deleting it. I don't have to go into options or anything like that. I can just change it right from there. And unlike with the ActiveX control, this one does not put me in design mode, so I can actually trigger this right away. All right, so depending on whether you like that or not, you know, if you prefer to have that design mode, then ActiveX might be a bit easier to update and not accidentally check your box off. To edit this, I'm going to right click, and then what I can do is go to Format Control over here. And then under the Control tab, you'll see the cell link. So this is again linking back to which cell is it going to update. So I'm going to actually select C3 or C5 and then hit OK. Now if you want to change the look of it, it has this 3D shading option. If I hit OK, I'll show you. So that looks similar to the ActiveX checkbox. Now if you don't like that, you can obviously leave it without the shading, and then it looks a little bit different. So again, this is entirely up to preference which one you use, but either one can work the same way. And again, lining it up can sometimes be a little bit of a pain, but and then bam. So it works the same way as the other checkboxes. There's really no difference. They both work. It's just a matter of, you know, do you prefer the ActiveX or do you prefer the form control? It really doesn't matter, and it's just depending on which you prefer. But once you've got that set up, all you need to do is you can just copy these checkboxes down, and then your template will work. And then what I would do is hide this tab, and now you've got a pretty clean pricing sheet where where the user doesn't even see those true false values, and you know, you can even hide your pricing sheet, and now you've got a pretty clean sheet to work with that you can send to a user that they can easily make changes to just by taking off the checkboxes. So that's how to add checkboxes in a nutshell, and hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching.